Thursday, November 16th. I mean, we're a week away from Turkey, so glad that that's going to be happening soon. It's just us today. I have no special guests, no guest appearances, no Cobra getting thrown in at the end of the show, or Cyrus yesterday joining us for a comprehensive discussion about the Golden State Warriors, who we will get to in just a little bit. And obviously, the news that we feared, that we expected about the Oakland A's came down earlier this morning, and we will get to all of that. Save all of your FJF hashtags and comments for once I get into it, because today we'll have a little bit of that discussion at the end of the show. I do want to talk about the fact that Week 11 is going to roar in tonight. Very good Thursday night game to start Week 11. A great Monday night game to end Week 11. And the 49ers got a date with the fabulous Baker boys here in Week 11, the Baker Mayfield boys. And I'm telling you right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are better than they look. They're better than their stats. They're better probably than their record, although your record is your record. But they ain't bad. I mean, this is not a bad football team, and a really good way to lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be to assume that there's just some walk in the park coming up. This will be anything but a walk in the park. And if you don't believe me, I'll tell you what they did to Derrick Henry last week. And if you can do that to Derrick Henry, you can probably do that to anybody. Derrick Henry is the second leading rusher in the NFL. Number one is Christian McCaffrey. So a little something to look out for coming up in this game. But look, Baker Mayfield today is an awful lot better than the quarterback that they gave up on back in 2021 so they could add Rub-Me-Down Watson, who, obviously, if the greatest ability is availability, he hasn't been that great for them yet and won't be because he's done for the entire year. Now, at 28 years old, Baker Mayfield is a little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little bit humbled, a little bit more mature, less media rabbit ears. He's not picking fights with Colin Cowherd anymore. So there is an older, more mature, and better Baker Mayfield coming to town than you probably expect. He got bounced from the Browns, and then he's wandering the league with the Panthers and the Rams there, and now he's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He's thrown for more than 2,100 yards this year with 14 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. He's completing 65% of his passes. So, what's the difference? What has turned Baker Mayfield into a very decent NFL quarterback when everyone bet huge on him? He didn't return on those huge bets, and then the Browns gave up. Well, more than anything, he's become better with better weapons, as all quarterbacks will. It's insane. Some people want to say, well, put Brock Purdy in a situation that isn't good and let's see what he does. Hey, you give Bill Belichick a football team that isn't very good and see what he does. This is the ultimate team sport. No matter how good you are, depends on the other players around you in the sport of football more than any other sport. That's why, in my mind, it is the single greatest team sport. There isn't one guy who can come in and start walking on water and save the day at any point in time because there's 21 other dudes out on the field with jobs to do. It's the beauty of this sport. If you want to help a quarterback, give your quarterback some weapons and protect him. If you really want to know why Baker Mayfield is having a very good year this year, it's because he is enjoying his least sack rate. The least percentage of sacks that he has ever dealt with is this year right now. The lowest sack percentage of his career is happening right now in Tampa Bay. The Bucs are a second-place team in the NFC South. Again, I say it out loud and it's not impressive, but that's who they are. They're a game under 500, and Todd Bowles is got a 4-5 football team with some wins that aren't exactly impressive, but I keep on telling you each and every week, whether you want to believe me or not, as long as you're playing another NFL team, that's not an easy opponent. I don't care what their record is. I don't care who their quarterback is. I don't care what their coach is, who their coach is. There is no such thing as an NFL punching bag. even though some teams certainly get treated as such. It's a lot easier to say that team sucks than to go out and prove it each and every week. They've got wins against the Vikings. Again, that was a season opener. Kirk Cousins was healthy. So they did something that the 49ers couldn't do, and that was going to Minnesota and get a win. They've beaten the Bears. Not impressive, let's be honest. They've beaten the Saints, and what makes that a tad more impressive is that win came in New Orleans, and we all know that the Voodoo Dome is a tough place to play. And they just, after a 4-game losing streak, coming out of a bye week, which is, not great, obviously, they really mollywopped the Titans just last Sunday. So, in doing so, the Buccaneers did something that, again, should just let the 49ers know that this is no walk in the park. This is not don't worry about it. Like, we just roll the ball out, we're going to win. It's not like that. By the way, that is an official sip of the day right there. And Irwin, all I can tell you is that we're at the end of the Andy's Town coffee. I went through that bag lickety split, man. It was really good. Thank you again. I very much enjoyed this coffee. I got to stop by Andy's Town. See if they're interested in doing a special Plus roast or something like that. Maybe they'll be the official sip of the day sponsor at some point. Who knows? But I sure have enjoyed their coffee, so thank you. By the way, we can get into the chat. I can see it's moving, it's flying, it's happening. So we'll get there, everyone. We will get there. Although I got to go to this right here. Big Mac, first guy in the chat today. This is like at 6 a.m. or whenever it was. He's like, I'm in super early today for all days for the biggest fuck John Fisher of all the fuck John Fishers out there. Hashtag FJF. We'll get there. We'll get there, I promise. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers held Derrick Henry to 24 yards on 11 carries. 24 yards on 11 carries for Derrick Henry. That Titans offense was completely shut out of the end zone. And this is where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to be a concern for the 49ers. They can make a team one-dimensional. That's as decent as the run defense is. And again, even if that's not over the whole year, you do that to Derrick Henry, you can do that. So the run game is something that the Bucs have done a nice job shutting down. And it's also the one area where they need to desperately improve if they're to be taken seriously at any point in time this year. Right now, the Buccaneers are basically walking into Levi Stadium as a one-dimensional team. Now, the 49ers have tripped over some of they don't run the ball very well teams so far this year. Minnesota being one of them, Cincinnati being another one of them. And here come the Tennessee Titans, whose Rachaad White is the team's leading running back. He doesn't even average 3.4 yards per carry. And as a matter of fact, the team's 78 rushing yards per game, that's the second worst in the NFL. The 49ers are at their best, obviously, when they can make a team one-dimensional. So as long as this isn't the week that the defensive coordinator decides, Steve Wilks, to go back up into the press box, hopefully that maintains and continues, and the running backs do not all of a sudden, out of nowhere, for the first time this season, start popping against the 49ers. Again, you shut down Rachaad White, there isn't a lot left after him. There isn't really much with him to begin with. So coming in one-dimensional is a really good way to set yourself up for a loss. We just saw a Jacksonville Jaguar team give up 5 sacks. And the other thing that I can tell you about this game is that the Buccaneers might be down a right tackle. Might be. It's nothing's positive yet. But Luke Godke has been absent from practice. He's been dealing with a foot injury. He hurt himself in the Titans win, and he stayed in the game. This is a right tackle who was originally a guard and didn't perform very well. They kicked him out to right tackle, and he is one of the best in the league right now. Pro Football Focus has him ranked as the 16th best right tackle in the league with 200 or more snaps. If he doesn't play, again, for a reborn, nastier than before defensive line, that tips the game even more in the advantage of the 49ers. This should be a Niners win. This should be a Niners win. Kyle Shanahan needs to put this one into the bank, in the piggy bank, in the win column. He needs to do that. If they're going to go ahead and wrestle back somehow from Philadelphia, a 1 seed, make sure the Detroit Lions don't eventually become the one. How about this? There is 0 chance the 49ers are a 1 seed without this in the win column. That's how much they need it. And again, if the Buccaneers are down a right tackle, that's good news. If you keep the Buccaneers one-dimensional, that's good news. By the way, they did put on a waiver claim on Michael Carter, who the Jets decided to move on from. They put him on waivers. The Buccaneers were one of 3 teams to try to claim them, but Arizona ended up doing so. Arizona, having the worst record in the NFL, I believe, was first up in the waiver claim, so they got him. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tried to improve their running game a little bit. They weren't able to. And hopefully they don't get right against the 49ers in any way, shape, or form. It's great having you here today. Thank you so much for stopping on by. For so many fans in the East Bay and A's fans, it's been an emotional morning. It's been an emotional, let's face it, last couple of years dealing with all this. And we will get into that in just a moment. I've got so much sympathy for fans that have just been abandoned in all possible ways. It's rough out there. It really is. So you know what you might need to do today? You might need to do a little self-medication. And my man Ike has a sandwich that will help you self-medicate. Yesterday, and I got to put up a picture because I took a picture, but then I forgot to even put it up. I got the Adam Richmond yesterday. The Adam Richmond has got ham. It's got a little pesto on it. It's got chicken fingers on it. I always add red onions. I put Godfather sauce on that, lettuce, tomato, and whatever else is on the Adam Richmond. I don't quite know. There's some avocado all over that, big hunks of avocado. I think I was talking with Cyrus yesterday, and he mentioned he liked avocado on his roast beef sandwiches. It got avocado in my mind. I'm like, hey, there's a little avocado on the Adam Richmond. I love the Adam Richmond. That's a delicious sandwich. Again, I had a request. Damon, instead of just telling us, go to Ike's, tell us about these sandwiches. Tell us more. Well, there you go. Get the Adam Richmond. Again, I'm a French bread guy. I'm not a Dutch crunch guy. But get yourself an Ike's. Get an Adam Richmond. Get a Damon Bruce. Get a Jamie Sirewich. Get a Paul Rubens. These are all among my favorites. And I think they'll be yours too. Use the Ike's Reward app and start eating your way towards free sandwiches. I also want to let you know that it's time for you to sign up with mybookie.ag and use promo code Damon. Promo code Damon will get you up to a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. So there's just $500 sitting there for you if you were to open an account with a $1,000 credit line and have an awful lot of fun making wagers throughout the rest of this football season, the rest of the college football season, hockey season. There's some money to be won certainly out there. And it's basketball, baby. It's basketball. So go to mybookie.ag, use promo code Damon when you sign up for a 50% deposit match. And remember, there's a casino waiting there for you. This is like being in a cruise ship out in international waters. The laws of the land need not apply. You can play blackjack. You can play roulette. You can play, you can sit down and play slots. You can have a full-on casino experience. And of course, with the best sports book out there, mybookie.ag, check it out. I'm not wearing a Jax t-shirt today, but I'll always tell you, go see my friends Jax. Go see my friends Jax, jaxsf.com for all your holiday shopping. Best vintage sports t-shirts you'll ever see. Use promo code DamonBruce10 for 10% off your purchase. Like I said, week 11 comes roaring in. Do you like a battle between franchise quarterbacks? You got one tonight. You got 2 really good defenses tonight and a Thursday night football game, which Al Michaels is finally looking at going, thank God. Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit have bad game after bad game put in front of them due to the schedule makers or just the way the schedule broke by the time that game actually got to them. Good one tonight, Ravens and Bills. So there you go, Amazon. I guess I'll be hopping on a little Amazon Prime tonight. Should be a great game. What should have also been a great game, just the way it was set up, a little something old versus a little something new. That's what Warriors and Oklahoma City Thunder were set up to be. This evening at Chase Center, Steph Curry will be missing the game against Oklahoma City. He's still out with the knee injury, which Anthony Slater went way out of his way to try to tell everyone it's not a big deal. This is an abundance of caution. Don't worry about it. Look, I hope Slater's right. I mean, I know an awful lot about Anthony as a reporter, and he just doesn't carry the bidding of Warriors PR unless he really feels like it's important to get this out. So this is an abundance of caution for Steph Curry. At his age, that's the right thing to do. And that means because of Curry's injury and a special Draymond suspension for starting the Battle Royale, this is only one of 2 NBA games this evening, and the Warriors will be down 2 starters once again. Klay Thompson did not get suspended, so he'll be playing tonight. And I hope it's a good night for Klay, because this team could certainly use a good night from Klay. Klay could certainly benefit from showing us a good night generated from him. But this is more opportunity, obviously, for Chris Paul, for Brandon Pajemski, for Moses Moody to get things going in that backcourt. Gary Payton II should see a serious bump in minutes. And Andrew Wiggins has been so much of a problem. If he continues to be part of the problem tonight, get him off the floor. Steve, you got options. You got an option in Jonathan Kuminga. You got an option in Trace Jackson Davis. You got an option in Dario Saric. Go to your options when the plan doesn't work. Just throwing that out there. Shouldn't be a crazy concept. Tonight, I'm going to be posting a premiere video that I'm going to be calling a Requiem for the A's, because I've written some stuff down, and look, A's and I have had a very complicated relationship, making A's fans and my relationship at times incredibly complicated. And I'll get into all of that in a Requiem for the A's a little bit later on. When you see it on my YouTube page, if you would share it amongst A's fans, if you would share it among the people who care about Major League Baseball, and it seems like that group of people is dwindling by the day, I'd appreciate it. And that's what's coming up a little bit later on. But obviously a little preview for you here. And the truth is, what's so disappointing about this is that the plan for this to happen has been hidden in plain sight for the last few years. And me talking about hiding this plan in plain sight has driven a wedge between me and some A's fans. You didn't want to hear what Uncle Damon had to say, because what Uncle Damon had to say didn't reflect well on your team, its ownership, its true intent, or your time, your precious time as a fan that you were investing in something that you were caring an awful lot about, even though it didn't love you back, not for a millisecond. John Fisher has had 2 decades to do something, to find any sort of solution. But the plan has been completely revealed. He never wanted the A's in Oakland from the day that he bought them. It was about, can we get them to San Jose? Can we get them to Fremont? Can we move them out of the city of Oakland proper to find better pastures somewhere else? That's what the plan has been. It's a real estate property. He wants to add a mall. He wants condos. He wants a hotel more than he really ever wanted a major league team. He saw them as a land development issue more than he saw them as a baseball team. And the closer that Howard Terminal got to becoming a reality, the quicker he decided, oh, well, no, I need a solution right now, so I got to go to Oakland, or I got to go to Las Vegas. Like, the closer the poison pill that Howard Terminal was supposed to be from day one, that there's no way Oakland's going to agree to this, the closer Oakland got to agreeing to it, the faster he pulled out of that. And beyond all that, you look at what he's done to deliberately destroy interest in the team he claims to, as owner, care about. In his near 20 years of ownership, John Fisher has summarily rejected the concept of free agency. There has not been a single player that really made a difference that was added on his watch. No one significant for a significant amount of time. There was never a marriage. It's only wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and then it became straight up a sexless relationship. He rejected the notion of re-signing his own players. He sat there and he watched his home stadium rot with zero, accountability or any pride in ownership or, I know that this is an Oakland problem, but I'm a billionaire. I can afford a few cans of paint. Let's put a few cans of paint on this bad boy. He never even bothered doing that. He completely refused to go on camera. He refused to be interviewed. He refused to be held accountable in any way. I mean, that is the insulation that billions buy you. And you can't help but, respect a self-made billionaire. Oh, wait, no, that's never it. He inherited everything. The man is feckless and talentless, and he's a terrible businessman, and he holds no political will or capital or power anywhere except for in Las Vegas because he doesn't know them yet. So he was able to buy off the local politicians needed to ram this terrible fuzzy math deal through. And here's the thing. Now the fuzzy math needs to become real math. But unfortunately, I don't even think we can count on John Fisher to screw that up because his major league brethren don't want to look like idiots, voting unanimously on relocation only to see the owner blow it would be so embarrassing for Major League Baseball. John Fisher will get all the financial help he needs now to get this deal done because baseball would look ridiculous without it happening at this point. This is the same John Fisher who tried to screw over as many employees and minor leaguers as his accountants would allow him to. And during the pandemic, he, instead of becoming a safety net and a safe harbor for his loyal employees, he tried to nickel and dime them all right out of the damn building. He tried to screw over everyone in the organization as hard as possible. So why is he doing all this? Well, I think I know why more than anything else. As always, follow the money. 23 years ago, Gap stock, which he inherited, Gap stock. It's a family empire, Gap. So he inherited billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of Gap stock. And 23 years ago, it was worth $49 a share. Well, in 2021, just 2 years ago, it was down to $32.50. And then the plummet happened. And there's no coincidence between I need to get my team's value up with a relocation it's directly tied to this. In the last 2 years, Gap stock fell from $32.50 to where it sits today at $13.37. In other words, the billionaire ain't as billionaire-ish as he used to be. And that's why he needs this move now more than ever. And the owners know it. And the owners know it that John Fisher isn't worth what he used to be worth. And for more than any other reason, that's why this had to happen now. He's got to go to Las Vegas now. When he said it's been harder on me than it's been on you, to A's fans that he met in that bar the other day, this is what he's talking about. I've lost billions. And he can't think of anything other than himself at all times. It's all John Fisher is capable of thinking of, himself. That's what billionaires do. They're just absolute assholes who think of themselves only and will screw over a multitude of people to better themselves, even though they already live better than those multitudes. Right out of the Bob Nightingale USA Today story. While the A's franchise is expected to rise in value with suite sales and advertising from ticket revenue from Las Vegas casinos and resorts, Major League owners inserted a binding protection provision into the contract before approving the deal. If Fisher decides to sell the franchise soon after moving to Las Vegas to make an immediate profit, he'll be heavily taxed on that sale, which would then be split among his fellow baseball owners. In other words, we know why you're doing this. You're doing this to take what should be a long-term investment in a major league team to a flip my property type of situation. And if you do that, John, we want part of the profit too. Like, fuck Oakland. We're not going to protect them. We're going to insulate ourselves from your business nonsense. And that's what's going on here. The major league owners said, hey, Fisher, if you're going to use this to just fluff your own wallet, we're in your wallet with you. We're taken out of your wallet to goose our wallet. And that's what's going on here. And just to let you know that this whole thing is still a terribly conceived plan, there's an element of homelessness baked into all of this. Nightingale continues. As the A's told Major League Baseball, they plan to play in a revolving series of sites until they move. One owner talking on a condition of anonymity. It's the one word I can't say. Well, there's many words I can't say, but that's the worst of all of them. Anonymity. Anonymously. The plan is to play in Summerlin, Nevada, home of the A's AAA team, Oracle Park in San Francisco, where the Giants play, and perhaps also the Coliseum. I'm going to tell you, the A's are going to end up whatever is the cheaper option. Whatever is the less expensive option, that'll be the only option that John Fisher exercises between now and then. It's like fielding a team. What's the least expensive way to do it? That's the only prism through which John Fisher sees anything. He's a cheap fuck. So keep an eye out for the premiere of a Requiem for the Oakland A's. It's coming later this afternoon, and when you see it, please share it. In the meantime, please unfollow the Oakland A's on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter. Unfollow them. It's time for you to abandon the A's as they have abandoned you. Another thing that we're going to get into is that as easy as it is to see John Fisher as the bad guy here, he's not the only bad guy. He's the worst of them, without a doubt. He is the billionaire who had the money to solve all of these problems at any point in time that he deemed this is the point in time I'm going to solve these problems. But no, he wanted to cash in on welfare checks anywhere he could. But the truth is, the city in Oakland is not in any way cloaked in glory or can say that they're just the victim laying in the middle of the road. They never saw the car coming. They did see this car coming. This car has run over the same body 3 different times now because the NFL, the NBA, and now Major League Baseball have all abandoned this city, and there is no municipality that has anything like this. This is a prolific exodus from the city of Oakland, rejected by all the leagues that matter. Right or wrong, fair or foul, it is what it is, as the kids say. And this is unlike anything any other city has ever experienced. I don't know what more could or should have been done, but obviously the plan's in place that can either grease the skids of business happening here or grease the skids of business out of town. The city of Oakland has allowed the greasing of the skids of business to only lead out of town, not into town. It's not a criticism. It's just an observation that is undeniable. And the only other observation that I'm going to leave you with is this. I don't ever want to hear another word about diversity from Major League Baseball ever again. I don't want to hear about inclusion. I don't want to see another profile piece on today's most popular black player X. I don't care who it is. It was usually Torrey Hunter, right? And Torrey Hunter would be like, well, there's not enough black kids playing baseball, and baseball would be like, yeah, that's very concerning. We really want to help. No, you don't. No, you don't. I mean, I don't think that Major League Baseball wants to stand up to cancer. They just have a printing arrangement with all those stupid placards that people hold up to stand up for cancer. How about you not spend money on the stupid placards so I can write Uncle Jethro or Uncle Mike's name on it and just give all that money to cancer research? Why don't you do that? But they don't. It's just shameless self-promotion and shameless self-fart sniffing. Major League Baseball couldn't give a shit about diversity, and they approved it implicitly by taking their market out of the most diverse major league city that they're going to find and moving it to about as white a tourist economy in a smaller market as there is. Somebody tried to come down my road when I made this point on Twitter and was like, "You racist pussy! Why do Oakland blacks matter more than Las Vegas blacks?" Well, because there's millions of more of them. That's why. That's why. Oakland is 22% black. Las Vegas is 11% black. And the difference between the sizes of the markets are top 10 market in the country, market number 40. So we're talking about millions and millions and millions of more minorities are in one town than the other. Again, it's nothing to even get angry at. This is just math. But I don't want to hear it anymore. Major League Baseball couldn't give a shit about any color that isn't green. That's it. It's all they care about. And they've proven it once again. Hit like, hit subscribe. And please do it quickly because apparently we're all on borrowed time, and this is where we're going to wrap up today's show here, fellas. And this is a segment for the fellas. Ladies, I love you, but to say that the future is female is the absolute truth because, guys, we are dying off at a ridiculous rate all of a sudden. I saw a study that says now the life expectancy for men in the United States has fallen to just 73 years old. That's 6 years less than women. A study reveals that at least a partial consequence of over 1 million COVID-19 deaths, and again, more men than women died during COVID-19 because men are stubborn and stupid, and a lot of Republicans decided to suck that Trump dick and die of COVID, and good for them. But anyways, the U.S. has declined significantly in terms of life expectancy for men, and it's unlike any other developed nation. It was 78.8 years old back in 2019. It fell to 77% in 2020, 76% in 2022, and now it is 73 years old, the average life expectancy of a man in America. This puts the country far behind Japan, Korea, Portugal, the United Kingdom, Italy. They all of them enjoy a life expectancy over 80. Countries such as Turkey and China also fare better. So it's not just like, oh, land of the free, home of the brave, you're doing it well. No, we're doing it worse than so many other countries. And these are countries that have democratic freedom, and these are countries that live under authoritarian regimes. What's the difference? Well, they got into that. The picture is especially concerning for men whose life expectancy is now 73.2 years old compared to the women who are 79 years old. This 5.9-year gap is the widest between the two genders since 1996. What's the deal? Well, they basically brought it down to three things. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit. Opioid epidemic has taken out a lot of dumb, addicted men in this country. Mental health. We got people shuffling off this mortal coil for mental health reasons. And chronic metabolic disease, which is basically a way of saying You're all eating like shit and living terribly unhealthy lifestyles. And that's what American men do. You know, I mean, we can't say no. What do you mean? You stuffed crust the pizza? Oh, I got to order that. You know, I mean, that's who we are. So, drugs, people going bonkers, and eating like shit have taken a American male's life expectancy and shaved many years off of it just over the last couple of years. Bang up job, everybody. Let's keep up that average work. Doesn't all that suck? Ike is saying, I've been trying to connect with him over the years. I don't know who you're talking about, Ike. I just joined the chat and I was the first one up here. Ike, give me a call. If I can help connect you with anyone, let me see what I can do. So, all I can tell you is that it's a shame that this day has come about. It's a shame that vote was unanimous. It shows you the true intent of major league owners. And it totally sucks. Look out a little bit later on this afternoon for a Requiem for the Oakland A's. The premiere will be coming, along with other videos. By the way, these videos that we've been posted have been very well received over the last few days. We have had back-to-back some of the most viewed days in the history of this channel. The subscriber count rises. We're at 9,130 now, so 70 subscribers away. 70 from 9,200. Again, the quest for 10,000 is real. We're going to get there by the end of the year. I really want to be there by the end of the year. But I thank you so much for tuning in. I thank you for listening to the podcast. We're going to continue with a little Club Plus, and again, be on the lookout for a lot more stuff coming today on the channel. I appreciate all of you to no end. Thank you for supporting me, my wife, my family, and what we're doing over here. It means an awful lot. And unlike the Oakland A's, I ain't leaving. I'm not abandoning this market. I don't go somewhere because it might be easier to live somewhere else. What I want to be is part of the reason why the Bay Area and San Francisco rise like a phoenix again. And it's going to happen. Go ahead, count San Francisco out. I dare you. Thank you so much for being a part of this today. And please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Skill says it's strange listening to Damon without chatting. Well, again, you can always chat. I thank you, but I don't want to miss the things that you are saying, especially when it comes to the situation that is now become a reality for the A's. And by the way, thank you as always. Brett says, hit that like button. Thank you, Brett. Hit it indeed. Old Dirty Hungus. A's fans are too loyal to want to hear it, but you should give your elite fandom to someone who deserves it, just not the Doyers. Well, I was thinking about this a little bit. I know it sounds like abhorrent for the A's fans to come and start rooting for the Giants, but you got a lot of similarities all of a sudden. Like, both teams have great uniforms. One team has a great ballpark, and you have teams that are now like so budget conscious, they might not even be really trying to win anymore. And if you were into that with the A's, you might even find that with the Giants. I know that those are all the wrong reasons, but they're also similar. So it shouldn't be that foreign to you to start rooting for the Moneyball Giants in Farhan's eyes. Ugh. And you got Bob Melvin. Now you got Bob Melvin again. You want Bob Melvin back in your life? There you go. Otis, brother, always good to see you. Hopefully the Warriors young guys can come through again tonight. Again, you're playing like the youngest group of guys in the NBA when it comes to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Your young guys should be able to flourish a little bit too in that environment. Heat Nets tonight. Ooh, T from the 203. Very exciting. Very exciting. By the way, T from the 203, look out for your mailbox. You got stickers coming. Ah, yes, and here we go. At FJF, hashtag FJF. There's an awful lot. Oh, True Blue corrected that with a hashtag even. Thank you very much. Erwin is feeling it. Nathaniel's feeling it. Again, what can you do? What can you do, right? It's all over. So what I think you need to do is unfollow them. There'd be no better way to embarrass the A's by them rolling into Las Vegas with fewer followers than most escort sites have. Let's see where they are right now. The A's have already lost over 1,000 followers since we started the Please Abandon the A's movement. They were at, hold on. They're at 608.4 thousand followers, but right now they were at 609.9 thousand followers. So yes, over 1,000 people have unfollowed the A's since we said we should start this movement. And I want to keep going. I want to keep going. Keep it going. Get them under 500,000 by the end of the day. Keep on following the Oakland A's. They've abandoned you. It's time for you to abandon them. The one thing I really truly hope for, is that the city of Oakland can sue to keep the team's history and the colors. That would be great. Like, give them the full Cleveland Browns treatment. Like, you want to go to a new place? Fine, go. But we're keeping the history, we're keeping the trophy case, and we're also keeping the team's colors and the name and the mascot. That's what I want to see Oakland accomplish. I don't want to hear anything else. That's what I want to see Oakland do. I wanted them to bring the entire might of whatever lawyer they got working for them, probably pro bono, and do that. Make it hurt. Damon stating facts. It's all we do over here. We just bring up the facts, and people get mad at facts. Sneakerhead Forum. Oh, I've not seen you in here before. Thank you very much. Hope you're subscribing. It'll be funny to see John Fisher and Cavill actually have to manage the team as a business for the next 3 or 4 years, figuring out how to develop a park, figuring out where to play for 3 years. Look, there are just enough headaches and speed bumps built into this for them to still screw it up. But I truly believe that Major League Baseball will not allow that to happen, because it would be so embarrassing to approve unanimously a relocation only to see the team bungle away its relocation. Like, there's no way that's allowed to happen. No way. Tiger Tank says, how could Billy Beane be okay with this? Isn't he a minority owner? How can he just go along with this? Because that minority owner stake of his is about to increase dramatically in terms of its value. Don't think for a second Billy Beane gave a shit about you, Oakland. He just liked his math equation and an owner cheap enough to let him run his experiment. Billy Beane doesn't care about Oakland at all. What else we got going on? People still shop at the Gap? Not really rocking New Era 84. I mean, I guess that's the point. I mean, that's the point. People are not shopping there. We got David Ryder says, I was 16 in the summer of 82 when the Raiders left for the first time. Didn't really get how that could happen. I mean, it's in the name, the Oakland Raiders. Yeah, it's funny. If we wanted to draw a line all the way back to where the A's failing this time really started, Well, it's easy to see that the transfer of ownership to Lou Wolf and John Fisher was devastating for the A's future in Oakland, because all those two guys have tried to do is create a real estate deal somewhere else. So that is, I think, more than anything else where it starts. But if you even wanted to go back in time, among the reasons why the A's became a failure at the Coliseum is because what was once a not classically beautiful, but at least offered up a view of the Oakland Hills, and it was certainly nice enough. The construction of Mount Davis was devastating to the Oakland A's, because baseball, more than any other sport, has an element of beauty attached to it. And when the element of beauty is so thoroughly stomped on by the worst construction project in the history of North American sports, and that's what that is. Levi's Stadium is a sparkling Taj Mahal compared to Mount Davis. And you all know how I feel about Levi's Stadium. But it's a big part. It's a big part of the reason why the A's failed. Certainly not a bigger part of the owner gutting the payroll down to $54 million and exacting every single business practice that could drive a fan away, much less lure a fan to actually come and support your team. This is true. John Doe 8842 says, if anyone can fumble at the goal line, it's fuck John Fisher. You're right. But again, I believe that there are enough owners who have so publicly and unanimously backed this to happening, they will prevent that fumble. They will prevent it. Well, he needs to go and borrow all this money now to get this deal done. Well, they'll help him. Ike, I will change that billionaire narrative when I get there. Well, here's the difference between you and the other guys, Ike. If you get there, it will be the journey that you took to get there. It will be your business acumen that has changed your life so thoroughly that you won't be one of them because you became one of them. To be the billionaire I'm talking about, you are born into it. You don't appreciate what it's like to be homeless, which I know for a while you were, Ike. You have told me stories of sleeping in your car. You have told me stories of opening up your first sandwich shop only to sell 0 sandwiches your first day open. You came from humble beginnings. Look at what you've done. Look at where you are and look at where you're going. You were handed nothing. You have earned it all. And that will change your narrative of billionaires more than anything else. You've earned it, brother. Chef A. The A's have been dead to me for several years. Bye-bye. No more dysfunctional relationships for me, goddammit. There you go. You should feel that way. And it has been a straight-up abusive relationship. A's fans have been abused. No doubt. Raider time. Raider Tim, 81. Thank you, Raider Tim. I'm doing that. Great idea. Unfollowing them right now. Yeah, hashtag the unfollowing. Let him go. Let him go. Spider Rico. City of Oakland government is run by morons. They couldn't even keep a Walmart in business, leaving East Oakland with no shopping center. Look, there are a lot of baked-in inherent problems in the city of Oakland. There is no doubt. The one guy who can start making those problems better is the billionaire who had the kind of influence that a local businessman and major league owner should have. But John Fisher abdicated all of those responsibilities with every action he ever took. Irwin, so right. Diversity, inclusion, equity are jazz hands to distract from what baseball's always been about, making the most dollars. Kevin O'Kennedy says, I don't live in California, so I don't care where the A's play. I'll always be a fan of the brand they are, some of the originals of baseball. All right. Spoken like a true never been here before. Thank you. Hello, WNBA in Oakland. Absolutely not. The WNBA is going to be playing at Chase Center in San Francisco. They ain't going to Oakland. No team's going to Oakland. Pardon me. No team's going to Oakland. Kim with a yikes. By the way, Kim, see that? I tested the microphone twice before the show started today. Hopefully we got it going. Thanks for air checking me as always, Kim. Never give another dollar. Never go to another A's game. There is no more. I just want to see him one more time. One last goodbye. You got to swallow all that shit. Just stop it. Just stop. There should never be another ticket sold again for the A's in the Bay Area. They should have zero attendance. When they come and they play games at 24 Willie Mays Plaza, there should be nothing there but out-of-town fans. That's it. And it sucks, right? Because I love being able to go see the American League. I loved having the American League a couple of BART stops away. That's gone now. This decision has ruined the quality of all of our baseball lives here in the Bay. Having two teams, two leagues in the same region was a blessing that is now gone. And that sucks. Totally sucks. What do we got? People talking about edibles. There you go. What else we got going on? Again, there's just like how do we want to share how much depression is going on here? And there should be a decent amount of depression. What's happening here totally sucks. What happens here totally sucks. Otis, the Giants are becoming the A's West. There you go. Maybe that's the rebrand A's fans need. It's like the A's, but on the other side of the bridge. Other owners are happy to let the Giants have all this new territory because the Giants have probably already promised not to actually try anything with all these news sources. No, here's the thing. The Giants have served their fan base well, okay? They have, which is why no one's going to get in the way of their business. And the A's abdicating the South Bay to the Giants is one of the dumber decisions in the history of decision-making. They should have never done that. It was lunacy. It was a generous thing to do. But again, the A's should have helped the Giants relocate instead of keeping them in town. As soon as they knew that they were going, maybe to Tampa, they should have helped push them out. But they didn't. And that came back to bite them in the rear end too. Kim, sniff of the day. I got a little, I don't know what it is. I don't even have a runny nose, but I got a little, it's all that, toilet cocaine I was doing because, my wife isn't here this week. Oh, look at this. Sniff of the day got a super chat. Kim, sniff of the day. There you go. From Gammon Brown. Thank you very much. The sniff of the day. The sniff of the day just got sponsored by Gammon Brown. Thank you. Michelle Haberman's right. Even though we all knew it was coming, it's a sucky day to be an A's fan. It's hard out here in these streets. It is, Michelle. It is. Your loyalty has been spat upon. Your fandom has been stomped out. Chef A's worried about the banjo guy. Where's he going to strum when the A's leave? He's going to a lot of Niners games, I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's great. The A's are going to be homeless for a little while. It's part of the plan. How ridiculous is that? Smash that like button. Bryant Culp, thank you. What do we got here? I still won't forget that local news media didn't help attracting people to the Coliseum by only highlighting the dumpy areas in place and not the improvements. The improvements weren't made, dude. That treehouse was bullshit. What are you talking about? There were no improvements made to the Coliseum. Every experience at the Coliseum became worse and worse and worse. The hot dogs got more lukewarm. They were harder to buy. The entire place was understaffed. The parking was ridiculous. The A's drove business away. All the news did was cover how bad of a job they did, how they did it. Like, don't blame the media. That's what Dave Cavell did when 95-7 the game and the A's got their divorce. And I was there when that happened. I know more about it than any and all of you, and I will talk about it in a Requiem for the A's a little bit later on today. Make sure you watch the premiere later this evening. Insult facts. Thank you, Carl. We do have facts. Again, that's what do we got? We got facts over here. I don't care what your opinions are. We got some facts. And the facts is that this is a not as billionaire as he's ever been in his life. He got to panic time and he pushed away from Oakland and into Vegas because it's the fastest way for him to be more of a billionaire than the Howard Terminal thing, which again was so close to happening. It's when he decided, we got to go. The poison pill isn't as poisonous as I thought it was. Oh, shit. That's what happened. I can't wait for the A's to have the same problem the Raiders do with home field advantage. Well, look, the A's had that baked in a little bit into the Coliseum. I mean, they'd play the Yankees and there would be 20,000 Yankees fans there and 5,000 A's fans. So that was sort of happening anyway. What I can't wait for is everyone to realize that baseball really has no pull in the city of Las Vegas. And I can't wait for them to draw their first 10,000 fans. And then that's it. Like, I pray and I hope that the A's will sell out opening night in Las Vegas and then immediately be down to about 15,000 fans in the next game, just like it was here. Again, how is John Fisher supposed to be the owner of anything that is now attached to actual expectations, right? He's going to have to lure fans in. Or is he just expecting the Vegas tourist industry to do all the work for them? Which, it's a huge part of it. Ernie Chavez was like, what about Soldier Field? That's ugly. Ernie, if I could burn Soldier Field down, I would. What they did, they took a once great football stadium and they put a toilet in it. And it sucks. The Bears and Soldier Field not mattering anymore, like the redesign like totally goes hand in hand with it almost. I hate Soldier Field now. Again, I kind of hate Wrigley Field with what they've done to it. These owners keep screwing up their stadiums. Hey, why don't we just call it Ike Stadium after Ike buys the A's back? See, here's the thing. They're not coming back, right? There's no coming back. This isn't going to be like the Raiders and they're going to someday come on back. This is a permanent move. And what's really gross is that Joe Lacob was there to prevent all this. Joe Lacob would have bought the A's at any second. But again, John Fisher needs to sell this team at a huge profit now, which he'll be allowed to do. I guarantee you the first year that is beyond the years of him having to share any sort of sale will be the year that he sells it. The Haas family was the best ownership. You know, Jack. No, the Haas family was really good. And everything since then has been shit. Ike is the man. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Breaking news. Snoop Dogg announces he is no longer smoking weed. He's the guy who said, I promise to smoke chronic to the day that I die. I'm going to need a confirmation on that. That's terrible. Here's the thing. Even if he said he's no longer smoking it, I guarantee you what do you want to bet in the next 48 hours Snoop Dogg launches an edibles line or something like that? This feels like it's going to lead to a PR move. Snoop Dogg getting out of the weed business. It's so attached to the DNA of his entire career. How's that even possible? He's going to launch a gummy line within 48 hours. So true here from Albert. Albert says the Pac-12 falling apart, the A's gone, changes afoot, and it feels bad all around. And it's not done in the name of, if we don't do this, we'll all be poor. It's all being done in the name of, hey, we'll be a little bit richer over here than if we just stayed right over here. How much richer? Well, just a little bit. How much? Well, a little. So you're going to break up, in the Pac-12's case, over 100 years of tradition. In the A's case, over 55 years of being in one location. You're going to break all that up in the name of just a little bit more wealth. Okay, fuck all of you, you know? And it does suck. Chef A. Damon, what about a Thanksgiving side dish draft next week? You know, that might be our first call-in episode where we can have people video chat in and we do a Thanksgiving side dish draft, and that'll be us testing the video call thing over here, which I've never done before. It might be a good way to do it. Kathy Tran, who is a huge A's fan, brokenhearted. I'm so sorry, Kathy. You deserved more than this. You deserved better than this. And all I can tell you is now that the A's are in the John Fisher business, or excuse me, the city of Las Vegas is, Las Vegas, you deserve it. You deserve everything that John Fisher is going to bring to the table. And you'll find quickly that he's a con artist. You just bought a monorail. Monorail. The ultimate monorail salesman has a new track to lay down in Las Vegas. The A's have been dead to me for a long time. This is just a stab in the grave from Bamboo Soldier. Now, I haven't thought of this. True Blue forever. Maybe this is Canada's fault. I'm blaming Canada on Andrew Wiggins more than I am this A's relocation. Well, kids, I don't know what to tell you other than the world is changing. The media is changing. The way that these teams operate because of the changing media environment, that's changing. And we're watching the world of sports as we know it unfold itself and refold itself into something that for some is, more attractive, but I think for most of us is less attractive. Having to have 15 different services in order to be able to watch a season of anything, to me, it's really annoying. We're watching such a crucial moment in time, and the casualty is, as always, the fans. The reason for doing anything in sports is no longer sports related. All of it has become just a money grab, and that is gross. There's supposed to be more here. Again, sports teams are supposed to be about the communities that they're in. By abandoning the community of Oakland, Major League Baseball has basically told you, we don't give a fuck about black people. We don't want you buying our tickets. We don't want you coming to our games. You don't matter. You don't matter. Diversity, inclusion, equity, all that stuff, it is a t-shirt. It is lip service. Major League Baseball could have created an environment where the A's were at the epicenter of a growing, more prosperous community in the city of Oakland. John Fisher could have been a benefactor who have gone down in history for all the right reasons. Instead, he's just the son of a rich fuck who's got no talent and has to take the easy way out at all times. Getting a stadium built in Oakland would have been hard. It also would have been really easily done if you just ponied up the money to do it. Now we got people really upset that Snoop Dogg has given up the weed. Yeah. Oh, here it is. We got a second confirmation. There is an NBC article saying that Snoop Dogg is giving up smoking weed. Okay, smoking weed. He isn't done with THC. The gummy's going to be launched. You watch. There's a gummy coming. Smoking. That's the key. That's the key. He's done smoking weed. I don't think he's out of that weed business. Hey, look, if you're an A's fan, you might need to get yourself into the weed business just to have a better day. I'm so sorry what happened has happened. I hope you plan on coming on back tomorrow for a Friday show. We're going to set you up for a big NFL weekend. And I thank you so much for being here today. It means an awful lot. Your support has been just tremendous, and supporting some independent journalists right now means more than ever before. And I guess that's what I am these days. So I serve no master. I serve an audience. I serve a community that we have built here. And unlike some other people who claim to do it, I'm not going to turn my back on you guys, not never. Thank you to everyone in this chat. Thank you to all of you who are a part of this. It means an awful lot. And on that note, it breaks my heart to tell you that, you don't need to go home. You just can't stay here.